Before I start the movie, I would like to tell you that we miss you, my friend. Our movie today is a state of action and crime. All you have to do is be patient in the beginning to enjoy the end, and now fasten your seatbelts and get ready for the movie.
The film begins by showing us a white car driving on the roads of a lit city. The white car then follows a black car and crashes into it when it reaches a secluded spot. The driver gets out of his car and the man from the black car takes some pictures of the accident in case his insurance company requests it. But then the driver of the white car, whose name we don't know yet, hit him and dragged him into the back seats of the black car. He stabs and kills him, then drives away in the white car. On the 5th of August, a hot summer day, 2 policemen are caught in a traffic jam. They are listening to the radio about the murder that happened in the first scene. As the traffic is not moving, Taesuk steps down from the car and walks to a gambling facility. Security tries to stop him by bribing him. They put a pile of cash in his pocket, but Taesuk doesn't like it and beats them up a bit. He then proceeds to arrest a man working behind a counter. The charge is an illegal exchange of money. Meanwhile, the mafia boss, Dong-soo, is training with a punching bag. Some of his men enter the room and tell him about the incident. Dong-soo first asks to put the punching bag on. His men take down the punching bag and unhook it. A man was trapped in it, covered in blood and beaten. Dong-soo then exits the building and gets in the car. He has a chauffeur, of course, and the other 2 cars follow him like a convoy. He called someone at the police department and complained about the cop breaking into the gambling facility. He pays the superintendent of police to stop his men from doing such things and disturbing him. Taesuk makes the man who arrested him drive his motorbike and bring it to the crime scene. Taesuk handcuffs him to the motorbike and approaches the scene in the background. The man can be seen turning his motorbike around in order to escape. So Taesuk approaches the scene of the accident and it appears that the police have found the man who was killed. Taesuk examines the scene alongside his partner. He finds evidence that someone likely rear-ended his car. Dong-soo talks with Shandu, another gangster it seems, and they talk about respecting their lands and duties. They mostly disagree. And their 2 bodyguards, 1 each, mix and have verbal difference. Dong-soo gets up and punches his bodyguard while removing his teeth from the mouth of the other bodyguards with his bare hands. He says they shouldn't be talking when presidents are speaking. Needless to say, Shandu was so intimidated that he couldn't disagree about anything else. At the police station, a group of men meet and analyze the victim's life. He has no debts or enemies. Then they try to build a profile on the killer. Taesuk suggests it must be a serial killer because there were 2 other killings where a knife of the same length was used. The other guys disagree with Taesuk, while at the same time, the manager picks on him because he trashed the gambling facility without having the jurisdiction to do so. Taesuk won't change his mind. He just wants to catch the bad guys. Dong-soo exits the building with his bodyguard holding an umbrella over his head. He orders his car to pick up the other men and go home. He is not drunk and will drive alone. On Dong-soo road driving while talking on the phone. Suddenly a car hits his car from behind and he hangs up. The driver gets off the vehicle. The other guy is just no one. He's the serial killer. Dong-soo does not want to notify his insurance company about the accident and leaves. The killer wouldn't allow him though. Dong-soo was stunned and stabbed him twice. But Dong-soo is not an easy target. A fight breaks out. Dong-soo finally pulled the knife out of the killer's hands and stabbed him in the back. The killer entered his car and ran over Dong-soo. Dong-soo is taken to the hospital while his men go hunting and kill other members of the underworld to take revenge on them. At the same time, the serial killer cleans his knife and tends to his wound. He then walks through an outdoor facility, finds another target, an old man, and stabs him. Dong-soo wakes up and talks to his bodyguard. He has no idea who the attacker is but tells his guard to look for a white sedan. Taesuk visits Dong-soo to get his permit, but Dong-soo gives it away. The Kaiser continues to check Dong-soo's car and makes contact. A white sedan collided with his car from behind. It must be the same person. Taesuke talks with the chief of police and tells him to stop covering up for Dong-soo. He says they need to bring him in for interrogation. After all, Dong-soo had seen the assailant's face. Moreover, he claims that he was right about the serial killer thing. He must be a serial killer. Who else would have the guts to attack a gang leader? The director does not want to hear him anymore and kicks him out of the office. A montage shows us the serial killer stopping at a gas station to grab a cup of coffee from a vending machine. He discovered a man and stabbed him to death, while at the same time, Dong-soo described the killer's face to a woman. She draws a sketch and gets very close to it. Dong-soo gives the sketch to his bodyguard and orders him to find the attacker before the police do. While the killer is driving the truck, the man wakes up. He was sleeping in the cab of the truck. The killer finishes him off as well, but the knife falls out of the truck and rests on the side of the road. Taesuk visits Dong-soo again to try to add some pressure on him, as well as woo his feelings. This killer is completely insane and must be stopped or more people will die. Dong-soo does not give a penny, but later his bodyguard tells him that their business is not going well. Rumors about his name started after he was attacked. Dong-soo decides that he must get hold of this killer and kill him to clear his name and win back respect. His men find the white Sudan and the knife he uses to kill people. Dong-soo invites Taezak to cooperate in the mission. If Taezak finds him first, he can bring him to justice. But if Dong-soo found him, he would punish him as he pleased. They share all the information they have so far, and Dong-soo exposes his camera, which was filming the whole time they were talking. Of course, he needs some guarantees to work with a policeman. Thus, the gangster and the policeman work together to catch the demon. The murderer must be 35 years old, and he kills exclusively at night. Taezak shares the secret with his partner and another officer, telling them that they will help the mobsters find the killer, and then he will be caught. Dong-soo tells Oh-sung, his guard, that they will let the police help them, and once they find the killer, they will get rid of them. Dong-soo complicates the issue a bit more. He orders a strike on Changdu and the killer uses the serial killer's knife. Not only that, but he also leaves it there for the cops to find. When a forensic examiner examines him, they find genetic information in him that links him to the previous gas station murders. Taezak solves the mystery and understands that Dong-soo disposed of Changdu in a way that would fool the police into thinking the serial killer did it. Taezak visits Dong-soo and they have a fight, but he can't do much about it. The news is talking about the death of Chengdu. A new team has been formed in the police department to assist in the investigation. The real serial killer watches the news in a restaurant and whispers to himself, "I did not do that." A young man listens to him and looks at him in fear. The killer gets up and leaves. On his way out, the young man tapped his shoulder at Chengdu's funeral. The serial killer is sitting in the crowd, watching Dong-soo. He approached Chengdu's bodyguard and gave him a note that Chengdu was killed by a knife, but not by me. His face points at Dong-soo. Dong-soo and Taezak now take a closer look at the white sedan and find a spot of blood under the steering wheel that likely leads to the killer's identity. Suddenly, a group of men attack them. They are Chengdu men. A huge fight broke out and the two managed to kick their butts. Later on, Taezak and his accomplices get a lead on the serial killer and actually get to see it with their own eyes. They catch him in the streets, but he manages to escape from them. They discover a place where the killer is eating and drinking. They start looking for the bottle he drank from and visit a factory where empty bottles are returned for recycling. They also bring a forensic team with them to try and get some new leads or clues. Dong-soo forms some new partnerships, trying to restore his business to its former glory. At the police department, a woman in forensic medicine gives Taezak a file, suggesting he go look for this man. Long declared lost, but she found a fingerprint matching the one she found on the wheel of the white sedan. It might be a bit of a misdirection, but it's worth looking out for. Taezak visits a house rented by someone he suspects may be the killer. He speaks with the landlady, and she says that the man who rents the house is a good man who has never caused trouble. He is able to find some pictures and some other clues. He compares the photo to the drawing they have from Dong-soo's description. This is definitely a serial killer. Taezak tells his partners and Dong-soo about it, and they take action. They share the killer's photo with everyone and search the whole city for him. Unfortunately, no luck so far. The guys are tired and decided to take a break. Dong-soo is waiting for Taezak at a random meeting point. It's raining and a female student is waiting for the bus next to Dong-soo. He gives her his umbrella to protect her from the rain until the bus gets there. Dong-soo, Taezak, and their men are having dinner when the news on TV catches their attention. The student who gave Dong-soo his umbrella is found dead. He gets angry and everyone gets up to search for the killer again. This time they spot him in a car and a car chase ensues. Dong-soo and Oh-sung smash the killer and Taezak at the same time. However, the killer escapes on foot through dark alleys. They split up to chase him. The killer stabs Oh-sung, but then Dong-soo manages to track him down and give him a good beating. Dong-soo takes him to a warehouse and tortures him. When he is ready to cut his head off his shoulders, Taezak crushes the warehouse with his car and knocks out Dong-soo. Then the killer is formally arrested and taken to the police station. Another problem occurs when the police do not have enough evidence to send the killer to death row. Taezak convinces Dong-soo to present himself as a witness in court. Dong-soo will do so if Taezak promises to send him to the same prison as the murderer. Dong-soo appears in court and proves that the killer did indeed attack him. When they quarreled, the killer was stabbed in the left chest. The killer policeman was undressed and had a wound in the aforementioned area of his body. The killer ends up in jail alongside Dong-soo, who likely kills him before executing him. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can see a video like this. Thanks for watching.
Baby, you give me ice and fire.